Sup fellas, another week and another video. Today's not gonna be a regular day, but if you've heard of Jujutsu Kaisen, you're probably familiar with MAPPA's take on the martial arts related series. And recently, the hit martial arts action fantasy manhwa God of High School debuted. One of the main driving plots of God of High School is its leaning towards people with a knack for fighting, packed with mythical creatures and religious figures. Originally, the God of High School was intended to be a competition to put individuals against each other to find and awaken the key in one of them. Today, we're going to be covering about the enigmatic and elite group of exceptionally talented group of individuals, which are known as the Six. Be advised that this video contains spoilers, especially on the particular group. We're going to be covering what's shown in the anime so far and what we can speculate to see in the next season. The Six was first mentioned in episode 6 by Park Moo-jin. He's the head of the commissioners that are supervising and hosting the God of High School tournament.
The Six 召喚した
And the first of the Six to appear in the series during the first episode, bearing a red cross on his left hand. The Six is composed of 6 members that are considered the highest masters in their own respective martial arts styles, and they're incredibly strong compared to the people who aren't part of the group, or anyone really. As part of their deal, they're commissioned and in contract with the president of South Korea, and are tasked to deal with any external threats to their nation. The members of the Six that were shown in the anime are Jeon Jae-san, Seo Hanraeng, Kim Do-sik, Na Boing-chin, Kim Eun-myo, and Park Moo-jin himself. And since we've mentioned Park Moo-jin already, let's talk about him first. Park Moo-jin is the head of the commissioners that are managing and handling the affairs of the God of High School tournament. He wears a typical Yakuza-like outfit and is always present in scenes talking about the tournament. He's also the one who gave Jin a sage fruit, which is part of the reason why Jin's skills were further enhanced. In his conversation with Dai Wei seeking answers about the tournament, he mentioned that the God of High School is all about drawing the powers of the gods and wielding them as their own to increase their own latent potential. While this might confuse you at first, one of their goals is to seek the tiger cubs that they will be taking care of to help them against the looming menace that is the Nox and prevent the destruction of the world. The power is called Chakriki. Anyway, we didn't really see Moo-jin in action until the latter episodes, against the primary antagonist in the series and the leader of the Chakriki purists and the monotheistic group of Chakriki users called Nox, Sang Mandeok.
久しぶりだね Park Moo-jin.
These noxious people are the same people who wanted to capture Jin Taijin, which they successfully did at the end of episode 13. Park Moo-jin's abilities revolve primarily in the summoning of a giant red cross that can be used to block Chakriki abilities. Nox's interruption and troublesome work in the tournament made him cautious and on the move to stop the threat. Moo-jin's powers are further tested when he has to face another threat, which is the so-called God and King that Sang Mandeok brought forth into the world. Although he hasn't really recovered from the power drain of dealing with the previous God that was summoned. He has to repel another attack, and while repelling this powerful attack from destroying all of Seoul, he's also seen to teleport Jin, Mira, Dai Wei, Ilpyo, and his friends as well as Jaegal into the Holy Realm, which further proves his abilities as part of the Six. While the Sixes and Moo-jin isn't entirely clear and explicit in their goals, and was rather vague or poorly displayed in the anime, the end goal was clear in the last episode. That is, to take the country's presidential seat to be able to move their resources efficiently and exploit the national assets to be used primarily for the protection of the civilians and to see their goals come to fruition. Up next is Na Boing-chin. Na Boing-chin is the second member of the Six to appear in the anime. He previously met Jin Mori before they performed in the Nationals tournament. After that meeting, we get to see him and Park Moo-jin on a little spar before continuing to talk about his meeting with Jin Mori. From what we can see in that scene, it is evident that even as an old person, Na Boing-chin is an incredibly powerful person. After spraining his ankle a little, Na Boing-chin healed Jin's heel using an acupuncture needle. He's an expert both in martial arts and healing. During Jun Jugok, Jeon Jason's grandson's fight with Jagal Take, he's been helping the doctors in the operation room who are trying to heal him back to normal after receiving a fatal blow from his opponent. Na Bongqing's martial arts and way of healing is derived from the Chinese medicine practice, which uses pressure points to heal a specific part of the body. This acupuncture practice dates back to 6000 BCE. As a master of his own martial arts, the Naboing Needle Ryu, he utilizes what seems like a longer version of acupuncture needles and fights with his own unique fighting style. If you've noticed already, Na Bongqing is missing a right arm. This arm was the price he paid for challenging Jin Taijin, together with the Six 17 years ago, which predates the start of the anime. He's also the person who is responsible for Jin Mori unlocking his full potential by teaching him his knowledge of acupuncture. But what really awakened Jin Mori's power isn't really his teachings, but raw emotions. And next is Seo Hanryang. Seo Hanryang is a member of the Six that was called into action by Mujin to assemble. We've never really gotten to see much of Seo Hanryang's past or anything close to it, but as a member of the Six, he's only one of the primary reasons why Seoul is far from the brink of destruction after the standoff between them and the group of villains called Nox. He's a rather simple guy which doesn't expose much of himself. He looks like he's a straight-up hentai protagonist due to the way he dresses and the way his hair looks, which doesn't expose his hair. As a member of the Six, he's exceptionally powerful in his own fighting style, and we get to see him in action in helping Mujin deal with Sangmandeok after he summoned what seems like a being called God, and that God thrusting a very large sword to pound the entire city into oblivion. His powers remain involved with a band of musicians doing what seems like a battle ballad while he unleashes an array of powerful abilities, such as the Cleaving Cleanse. He wields a lot of weapons including swords, firearms, bow, spear, lances, blades, axes, a rocket launcher, and many more. He's a national treasure user, and when he uses these treasures, the treasures materialize into an array of powerful projectile-like beams. He loves alcohol, and that's pretty obvious due to him enjoying the inevitable destruction of Seoul. He also uses this alcohol as a weapon to summon a series of arms to weaken the colossal sword that the summoned god was thrusting to the city's ground. His national treasure number 1, the Cleaving Cleanse, is a part of his abilities that help destroy the large sword brought forth by Sangmandeok. This national treasure is a mask that, when used, summons a tied-up version of himself that can bite off a Chakriki's physical form, resulting in its destruction. After the destruction of the cataclysmic Chakriki, he's seen celebrating with his crew of musicians, although the threat is far from over. Mandeok's summoning of a band of celestial beings into the world proved to be one of the hardest fights for the Six, as they have to deal with these otherworldly creatures who are like nothing we've seen before. He and Na Bongqing are the first to respond and help Mujin repel the new threat, but were immediately defeated due to the overwhelming power of the newly summoned god. Next, we have Jeon Jae-san. Jeon Jae-san is the chairman of the Six Sun Corporation, which kinda sounded like a parody for the well-known Korean mobile and appliance brand Samsung. He was first seen in episode 6 while giving advice for his grandson Jung Jae-guk before his fight against Jae-gal. His nickname is the Great Magician. As part of the Six, it is expected for Jeon Jae-san to be one of exceptional skills both in combat and fighting style. Of course, this is really evident in his portrayal of his abilities during the battle at the end of the Nationals tournament. With Mujin and the two Sixes in action being unable to repel the onslaught of the newly summoned god, the US called off their alliance with South Korea and Mujin, and they immediately send multiple F-22 Raptors and B-52 Stratofortresses loaded with nuclear missiles with a total of 567 to bomb the living crap out of this monstrosity. Thank God for the discovery of nuclear fission. With the destruction of the Red Cross and Mujin's powerlessness against the god, it took Jeon Jae-san's swift action to quickly teleport more than hundreds of thousands of Seoul citizens from the ground zero of the action and took Sangmandeok into a 1v1 battle. His power as the Six was showcased when he dissolved all of the missiles, recreating them into a single destructive missile, while summoning a large meteorite to act as its external force to destroy the malevolent god and destroy everything in a 100-kilometer radius with radioactive energy and the power of Newton's second law of motion. Next up, we have Kim Eun-yeol. Kim Eun-yeol was the last Six to appear in the anime. She's the one who healed everyone back to normal after the end of Jin and his friend's battle with Jae-gal. After being awakened by a member of the God of High School tournament, Kim Eun-neo appeared on the stage to bring back everything to normal except the dead. Her interaction with Mori indicates her knowledge of his power and his past, as she immediately gave him a direct remark of being an ape, which is true, as Mori's power himself is that of the Monkey King, which is, spoiler alert, not borrowed or Chakriki at all. She also asserted that she's older and a lot more important than the rest of the people in the series. She immediately grants Jin's wish to return everyone to normal, although after using her powers, she shrunk to the size of a 7-year-old. We've never really seen her combat abilities and offensive powers so far, but restoring everyone's bodies is a really powerful ability, which proves her abilities exceed that of Na Bongchim's abilities, who is a medical practitioner and a doctor himself. And finally, Kim Do-shik. Moon Gi-ju is a part of the Six, specifically an apprentice who only appeared for a brief period of time, for like 2 seconds, during the ensuing battle with the Nox's leader, Sang Mandeok, and his army of celestial weirdos. As of episode 6, Kim Do-shik is actually the Six's member, but we've never really seen him in action, so we don't know much about him. But we'll see him in the next season, and that's for sure. Alright, this sums up the 6 members and their abilities so far. By the way, we've avoided spoiling much of the Six's abilities by referencing only what's showcased in the anime series. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Tick that notification bell and help us grow and show your love for anime by sharing this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.